Hi there. So I've been looking at Toy Story and thinking about whether or not it's worth doing a director's cut of it. Obviously Sonic 3D had issues in it that I wanted to look at fixing, and I've been having a look at old reviews and new reviews of Toy Story and seeing if there's stuff in there that's holding the game back from what it can be. So I thought in this video I would kind of point out the kind of things that I think may be issues that people have had with the game. And it'd be great to hear from you guys in the comments as to whether you think they're issues I should have a go at trying to fix. So let's have a look. We'll take them one by one at the things I'm thinking of doing and let me know. So the first real area of difficulty people seem to have with the game is this level and a later level very similar to it. I know that the feedback we had when we made the game after the game was out was that kids really struggled with this section. And at the time you couldn't patch games, so there wasn't really much we could do. And in fact, if you look at the European release of the game, which came out several months after the American one, we'd added a password system to that game. A lot of people thought we'd taken the password system out of the American one. It was the other way around, we'd added it due to the feedback from kids struggling with this section. So this is clearly one I could have a look at. There's several things I could do here. I think I didn't actually write the handling code for the car on this particular level, but I can have a look at it, and probably the key thing is how it reacts when it collides and spins out. You know, it can catch a wall and then it'll do a big spin and it'll take you a while to regain. So I could maybe remove that so if you clip a wall it doesn't spin you out. The other thing I could look at doing is how much power the batteries give you, or change the speed at which the power drains. So effectively you have more time to do the level. There's another few things to do with how the battery, when you hit buzz, how the battery's dropped. We could just make it drop in a straight line from where you are rather than bouncing around the level. But I don't want to end up butchering this level so it just becomes far too easy. The same level plays again later. I think this version of the level's a little easier. Steering, I'm crashing a lot here, but it's a big wide area. You're less likely to hit things. I think the issue more here is perhaps the scale and how much you can see ahead of you. But again, I think the time limit, the speed at which the battery drains would be able to fix this as well as, you'll see as I'm playing here, I'll catch things and it's a big penalty. You'll spin right out the way when you hit it. So there's a few things I can do to this type of level. It, I think, was the number one complaint of the game at the time. And it is frustrating to play, which is not the idea. The next big complaint or issue that I see people having with the game is this boss fight in the claw machine. The trick to defeating the boss is you have to flick the aliens into the air with your pull string, and then you have to do a sort of diagonal hit to knock them up again into the claw itself. And you can see here, when the claw has buzz, it moves really pretty quickly to the side. You're trying to aim, you're kicking aliens at it, and it's kind of moving away as you're, they can't even catch up with it. And as a result, you can see Buzz here is stuck right at the edge of the level. So when the claw next goes for him, it's going to be able to exit before I can get anywhere near him. I can slow down how quickly the claw moves once it's got Buzz. That would be one way of solving it. So the claw picks up Buzz and then it just moves a lot slower across the level, so you have more time to get it. The other thing I could look at is maybe once the claws drop Buzz again, you could flick Buzz back across the level to his start position, buying yourself more time. Either of those things could help. So that could be something we could do on that section. And then the kind of last level specific issues that I see are on the chase sections, where the intent is to have a fast-paced sort of Twitch gaming level, which is fine, but due to the size of some of the sprites on screen, like RC Car there and Woody riding along on Rex, there's just not a lot of screen real estate to play with. So the first section, this section here, it's not too bad. You get fair warning most of the time. You can pick up the patterns. Okay, the plane's coming over the lower, so it's going to drop the soldiers. But there's a few bits like Rex is there, and then the RC car will come at you, and then there'll be a train and another train and the plane and the parachutes. So maybe I can just look a little bit at the timing on this section, and then later on in the game there's a roller bob section, and that is an awful lot harder. There's so much stuff coming at you. There's bombs, there's rockets, there's hazards on the floor. There's the big dog coming, filling half the screen behind you. Scud, I think his name is. And it just, I would suspect, you just have to be so skillful and spend so much time learning the patterns to get away without getting hit. Which, in retrospect, doesn't feel particularly fair. You should be able to, I think, play the level based on reflex and get through it, even if you haven't played it many times. So I can have a look at the timings and the number of enemies on these levels, and maybe that will help solve that one. And then there's a few sort of more generic things. There's an issue which is easily solved, which is if you're down to 1 hit point at the end of a level and you start a new level, you continue with just 1 hit point. So it would seem fair to at least reset hit points between the levels. The other thing is when you hit enemies, you can hit any enemy, and you can see here with the plane, when you hit the plane, the sort of smoke comes out the back and it wobbles up and down, but maybe it's not clear that the plane won't hurt you in that state, so I could do something to maybe flash it, make it more obvious that you wouldn't get hurt as a generic thing. Maybe adding, not quite to the extent we did on Sonic 3D, but maybe a level select screen or a map so you can replay levels, and then have some sort of thing for getting all 50 stars in every level or something like that. And then the password feature, maybe adding that back in, or maybe a more elaborate password that allows you to store your progress and how many stars you've got on each level and things like that. So there's other stuff we can do. I say we all the time. It's me, isn't it? I'm going to be doing this. There's things that I can do to generally make the game more accessible and generally make it feel less frustrating. So the key thing here is I'm going to leave 2 comments in the comment section below. One saying, yep, for sure, you should do these changes. Or nope, please don't ruin my childhood, leave the game alone. Obviously like the one you agree with, and also, you can reply to those and add comments, other things maybe you would change instead, or reasons why you wouldn't change it at all. So I just thought it'd be great for you guys as a community to let me know whether or not a director's cut of Toy Story would be a good idea. And if it is, then maybe I'll have a go at it. Okay, let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.